football fans, and welcome to the Touchdown Lady podcast, where we talk football from a fan's point of view. I'm Sandy, your host. Let's just get into it. Now, the latest NFL news is that the Atlanta Falcons are looking to trade Kirk Cousins. Yes, they're looking to trade Kirk Cousins. They are offering a team that wants to trade for Kirk Cousins, but they have to pay $20 million, which is left on Kirk Cousins' guarantee money on the contract with the Atlanta Falcons. So far, the Atlanta Falcons have not heard anything from any other teams. Now, the Atlanta Falcons are moving forward with Michael Penix to be the starting quarterback in 2025 season. They also signed Easton Sticks for a backup quarterback for Michael Penix. So if they don't trade Kirk Cousins, he's probably going to wind up staying with the Atlanta Falcons and being a backup for Michael Penix. We have to wait and see how that is going to play out. We got to wait and see on that one. Moving on, the 49ers and Brock Purdy and George Kittle are in negotiations for extended contracts. Now, Brock Purdy did show up for voluntary training with the 49ers today. George Kittle did not show up to practice today. It's voluntary, so he did not show up today. Brock Purdy is in the last year of his rookie contract, so he's looking for an extended contract from the 49ers. That negotiations have been going on for a little while right now. Still haven't heard anything about him signing an extended contract. I will let you guys know when that happens. George Kittle is also looking for an extended contract. He's on his last year of his fifth year of his contract they signed. He's looking for extended from them. But the negotiation between George Kittle and the 49ers, I heard, is not going that well between those two right there. So I'll also keep you updated on that as soon as I hear anything about contracts being signed for both these players for the 49ers. Let's move on to the Steelers. Now, there's a rumor out there. I don't know how true it is out there, but they're saying that even though they're still waiting for Aaron Rodgers, have not got an agreement or a contract with Aaron Rodgers yet, they are looking to draft a quarterback. They have the 21 overall pick of the NFL draft, which is going to take place this Thursday, starts the draft. So they're saying the Steelers might take a quarterback. We don't know how true that is, but they already have two quarterbacks on their roster. They have Mason Rudolph and they have Skylar Thompson. So those are the two quarterbacks that's already on the Steelers roster. Like I said, the Aaron Rodgers saga still continues. No word if he's going to sign or not. They are just still waiting on that. But the word out there is that the Steelers are looking to take a quarterback. Now, the NFL draft, like I said, it's going to happen this Thursday, April 24th through April 26th. Now, the first round of the draft is going to be on April 24th, and the second and third rounds will be April 25th, and the fourth and seventh rounds will be April 26th. So those are the rounds that's going to be happening on those nights. I don't know if I'm going to watch the whole draft. I'm only really interested in the first two rounds. After that, I'm not that excited over the draft this year. Last year, I was more excited about the draft picks. This year, not so much. I think for me, it was just a lot of drama around the draft with Shedeur Sanders and the back and forth on that. And I think it just took a lot of, for me, personally as a fan, it just took a lot. I just can't wait till it's over so we can move on. The most important thing that I'm interested in is when they get down to the 53-man roster. That is when I get excited, who's on those teams. But I am going to watch the draft. I don't know if I'm going to watch all the rounds, but I am planning on watching the draft this Thursday, April 24th, starts the draft. Now, let's talk about the UFL Spring Football League. Now, I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of games over the weekend, but there is a game that I really watched, and I had a good time watching that game, and that was the Arlington Renegades versus the St. Louis Battlehawks. Now, the Arlington Renegades wound up winning this game 30-15 over the St. Louis Battlehawks. Now, I was really surprised how the Battlehawks played in this game because the first 2 weeks of the season, they came out there, they had their offense and defense was well put together. It looks good out there. They was winning the game. They was moving the ball well. They made some really nice plays. But the last 2 weeks for the Arlington Renegades, especially on the offense, has been bad. Now, the St. Louis Battlehawks was the team to watch to go into the championship game, which is going to take place this June. I don't know. With this loss this week, this is only a 10-week league, so we're going into week 5. The St. Louis Battlehawks, they got to do something to turn it around if they want to make a true run to get into the championship game for the UFL. But the quarterback, Luis Perez, had 149 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception of the Renegades. Also, Ajin Harris the cornerback for the Arlington Renegades, he got a return of 100 yards for a touchdown. Yes, against the St. Louis Battlehawks. He got that he got that 100 yards he ran down for. Go watch the highlights on that, the cornerback for the Renegades. Also, in the fourth quarter alone, the Renegades scored 14 points. Yes, 14 points in the fourth quarter alone over the St. Louis Battlehawks. On the other side of the ball, Manny Wilkins is out for the rest of the season. He is the quarterback for the St. Louis Battlehawks. He got injured, I think, the fourth play into the first quarter. He went down with a bad leg injury. I still don't know what the injury is. I was trying to look up and see what injury it was. I'm going to find out, though, but I did look, but I didn't see it on there. So they brought in Max Duggan. He wound up with 78 yards and 2 interceptions in this game. He has not got a lot of reps in this game, so this was his first time started in the game, playing in the game. So we have to wait and see how he'll do this week going into week 5. But Manny Wilkins, the St. Louis Battlehawks starting quarterback, is out for the rest of the season. Also, Willie Harvey, he's the linebacker for the St. Louis Battlehawks. He got an interception for a 44-yard touchdown. He had 8 tackles in that game and 1 interception as well. Jacob Saylors, the running back, the star running back for the St. Louis Battlehawks, he only had 61 yards and no touchdowns in this game. Like I said, the Arlington Renegades defense shut down the St. Louis Battlehawks in this game. There was nothing that they can do on offense as far as the Battlehawks. Now, the Battlehawks defense did show up, and it did make some really good stops and plays in this game. So the defense was still intact. It's the offense for the St. Louis Battlehawks that has to improve, like I said, if they want to make a run for the championship game. But the St. Louis Battlehawks is getting some good news. The wide receiver, Hakeem Butler, will be back this week for the St. Louis Battlehawks. And let's see if they can turn it around to get a win in their column. We have to wait and see on that. Now, even though I didn't get to watch a lot of the games, I'm going to go through some of the games that was played and the scores. Now, the first one I'm talking about is Showboats versus the Panthers. The Panthers wound up beating the Showboats 27-9. Then you have the Stallions and the Roughnecks. The Roughnecks wound up beating the Stallions 30-15. Now, the Stallions are the reigning champions right now in the UFL for 3 years straight. I don't know if they can do a four-peat. We have to wait and see. But they wind up losing this weekend to the Roughnecks, 30-15. The other one was with the San Antonio Brahmas. They got their first win of the season. They beat DC Defenders, who were undefeated going into week 4. So the San Antonio Brahmas, they won 24-18 over DC Defenders. And that's what's going on in the UFL right now. Now, every week of the UFL, I'm going to highlight a head coach of one of the teams. And this week's highlight head coach is Mike Nolan. Now, this is the second year that Mike Nolan is the head coach for the Michigan Panthers. He has a lot of NFL experience. He played for a lot of 11 teams. Well, he worked for a lot of 11 teams in the NFL. He served as the head coach for the 49ers from 2005 to 2008, and he was a defensive coordinator for 8 different teams. As a head coach for the 49ers, he finished 18-37 overall record and part of his 4-year season with the 49ers. He is also the son of former 49ers and New Orleans Saints head coach Dick Nolan. Mike Nolan also, his most recent stint in the NFL, he was the Dallas Cowboy defensive coordinator in 2020 season. So he comes with a lot of NFL experience. His first job in the NFL was as a special team coach for the Broncos from 1987 to 1988, before serving as the team's linebacker coach from 1989 to 1992. And that is the coach of the week, Mike Nolan, the head coach for the Michigan Panthers. Now, this is a part of the show. If you want to reach out to me, you can email me at touchdownladies@gmail.com. That's touchdownladies@gmail.com. Well, I like to end the show on a positive note, and I do something I call Facts, Fun, and Football, where I go on my little jar here, And I'll pull out something fun to end the show on. Let's see what we're going to get. And this is going to be a joke. Why can't football players wear glasses on the field? Because the football is a contact sport. And this is Sandy from the Touchdown Ladies saying, don't forget to smile, be happy, be kind, put your action behind your plan, and keep moving forward. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.